So then, Briar, we just
Hello.
watched. Yes, we did say hello, and we watched stuff, didn't we? We watched the second reveal stream for the infamous April update.
Yeah, arguably more exciting than the first one, I would say.
Yes, I mean this is an area that many Guardians have been addressing for some time: customization and appearances, and the variety in customization. So, what do we have exactly? What is on the plate?
Okay, so the first thing we saw is we got an explanation of the new Chroma Glow features. You're going to be able to basically set up a glow for weapons and armor that is purely cosmetic. It just is it's almost like there's like LED lights under your armor kind of glowing out, or on the edges of your weapons that kind of glow. On the Taken weapon, it was really cool. There's like some Taken graffiti.
Yeah.
But essentially, it's purely cosmetic. It's just another way to customize the armor that you get.
And if you feel like you're not taking as many bullets as you should be in Crucible, you can always make yourself look a bit brighter.
Yeah, that might work.
Take the Blackadder method. You could always stand on top of a step ladder, smoking endless cigars, wearing a luminous balaclava.
There's going to be four different colors, and they're independent of shader. You got white, yellow, blue, red. They're going to drop on the armor is going to be RNG, which color you get, but you can alter which chroma you get using a material.
Yeah.
Or actually you deactivate the current color, and for 100 glimmer, you can try again to get the color that you actually want, which is nice because you can really customize the armor that you want.
Yeah, I'd like my 100 glimmer back. I'd like to be a tight-fisted penny pincher. I want to be able to change that, without having to spend. I suppose 100 glimmer is the bottom rung of the ladder, but yeah, I'm a penny pincher. I'm a glimmer pincher.
And since there's only 4 choices, it seems like you'll get the choice you want
pretty quick. I noticed that they were getting duplicates. I was praying, watching the stream going, come on, get red 5 times in a row and make a comment about it. Get duplicated. But yeah, it is a nice touch. I think it's high time that we have more customization with appearance, because I mean pretty much everyone looks the same, and unfortunately I do have that same inkling that everyone is going to be looking very similar to each other again, because it's either going to be the Spectre armor sets or the Taken the Desolate stuff. In the beginning, people get kind of tired of it, I guess, and we'll see a little bit more variety afterwards, maybe, possibly. But in the beginning, everyone's going to be rocking the whole the Taken setup and the Spectre setup, I reckon. That's my prediction.
The Spectre, okay, so they did show us 2 new, well, they showed us 5 sets of armor, right? They showed us the 3 factions that we're familiar with, New Monarchy, Future War Cult, and Dead Orbit. But they also showed off that there'd be 2 new ones, the Spectre and the Taken. So a lot of people were thinking Taken shader. Looks like that's not a thing. We're going to get a specific Taken armor set that looks very much like the old Prison of Elders set, but has a Taken effect to it.
Yeah. I would have put money that it was big money on the fact that it was a Taken shader, so I'm eating a big stack of hats about now.
Yeah, well, speculation-wise, I was completely wrong about what Chroma was going to be, and I'm completely wrong about the Taken shader.
I mean, it's cool. I think having the individual sets, the individual pieces, it does give a lot more scope, and it does give a lot more to work towards and stuff. It's just a bit of a kick in the pants that it's all available through the Eververse shop, I think. I mean, I don't completely disagree with that model whatsoever, because, folks have got to make money. They've got to pay the wages. They've got to, cover the resources in order to carry on making the content. It's just that it's going to be available at the drop of a hat straight away for everybody. And, the towers, the reef, it's all going to be full of all that new stuff more or less immediately within the first few hours of playing the DLC, which kind of...
It's going to take some of the grind out, right?
Yeah,
it's going
to
take some of that long-term dopamine drip, getting those rewards that you want, grind away.
And that's what's, kind of kept a lot of the whole Destiny thing alive, is the fact that I want that. I'm going to sit in this chair and grow a beard and not move until that Taken set of gloves is my own. But now it's like, I'm going to go to Eververse, I'm going to spend 100 glimmer, and I'm going to keep buying this box, and I'm going to keep opening it until I see the things that I want to see. I mean, that's for the folk who've got cash to burn, or as we were talking about earlier, whether if you're chained to making YouTube content and you want to make videos on it straight away. But it's not a biggie. It's not something that I'm like, how dare you, Bungie? You've broken my heart, and now I am going to throw myself out of the window. You know, I'm just a little on the disappointed side that it is available through Eververse straight away like that.
My immediate reaction was like, "What?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
really?
it's like, ouch.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
you know.
And they showed that using this Sterling Treasure Box, which is how you get this new Spectre and Taken armor, you'll be able to have a choice between like kind of a reward that you can see before you get it, which takes a little bit of RNG out. So by buying a lot of these Sterling Treasure Boxes, you may be able to almost immediately spec out, like, say, if you really like playing a Titan with high discipline, high intellect, you may be able to basically just spec that out right out of the gate.
Well,
you will have level 3 armor, but you can infuse that armor. The infusion system is
changing,
carrying on, and actually improving. When you infuse light, you get 100% of the original
that
light.
I'm extremely glad about, because the increments were just too small. It was too resource hungry. It created weapons parts crisis as well as the armor materials crisis. I'm in a constant armor materials crisis at the moment. I like setting up each of my characters with armor that is tailored to specific primaries or secondaries. You know, like extra sniper ammo for Trials of Osiris is, it's a given. For PvE, you might want boots with extra rocket ammo, and then there's I like scout rifles, I like pulse rifles. I'm starting to get into auto rifles a little bit more these days because they're a bit better, and hand cannons are all my all-time favorites. So I always liked having my armor specced out for those weapons, so I keep a set of each for each type. So I'm just constantly upgrading armor and constantly unlocking the parts of the armor. So I
really like when that armor, I do the same thing, and I really like when that armor is part of a set.
Yes.
So that I can easily figure out which set this loadout goes with, right?
Yeah, man. It tailors to the OCD. It tailors
it does.
to those of us that can't sleep unless the gauntlets match the pants, and the shoes and stuff. So, but yeah, it's good that now Bang Infusion is like, it's 1-for-1 as I've forgotten the guy's name, the developer on the left with the dark hair. He said it's 1-for-1, and that's how it should be. However, you can, as you were saying, now you can go to Eververse, spend a bit of money, try and get a full Taken set or a full Spectre set, and then depending on what the roles are, because let's just say if the RNG, in brackets, inverted commas, RNG is the same as what we get in game, which means many duplicates galore, and the same perk. So if you've just spent some money trying to get hold of that Taken armor set, and you've just bought another box and you've opened it up and it's got the same gloves with exactly the same roll on it, I think we're going to see that quite a lot. I'm hoping.
Well, when you open the Sterling box, you actually get a choice of what you're going to take out of it.
Really? Does that actually? It's not like complete RNG. It doesn't just pop you.
It's probably RNG as to what's going to be on offer inside that box, but you are going to get a choice of, many different items.
Okay.
So you can select I bet it'd be rare that you get a box that has like just nothing in it.
Oh yeah, I mean, nothing would be pretty bad, especially if you just paid for it as well.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's how these things go. We've seen this kind of thing in many games, and it is a thing. You buy a package in Call of Duty or another game, and you might just get nothing you want out of it.
Yeah.
It is kind of the sad reality of this kind of a system.
Yeah, I'm hoping that that the duplicate rate is definitely reduced on purchasable items for real money.
Right.
Because that would be like super frustrating, like that you keep getting the same thing in the same roles. Because that's happened with a lot of the armor and weapons, like the raid weapons, for example. There's a lot of different variations that we've got with different perks and, different roles on it. And the duplicates for me in the Kingsfall raid were almost every raid was identical. The weapons would drop with the same roll as they did last week. No full auto on the Doom of Chelchis and no Firefly on the hand cannon. It was just like a constant repeating pattern. So if you're buying something from Eververse, I really hope the duplicates thing is, kept to an absolute minimum. If ideally completely eradicated, so you can't keep purchasing the same thing twice.
Yeah, and you don't have to buy these things, right?
No.
The Sterling rewards will be available from Crucible, Strikes, Prison of Elders. You know, I think you're gonna get 3 chances per character per week to earn a Sterling package. Like that's kind of the impression I'm getting. Did you get somewhere?
Something like that, as well as the fact that the postmaster is gonna, when you sign in, I think on a weekly reset,
you get 2 right off the bat.
Yeah, you're gonna have some straight away. So for the folks that are a lot more patient, or the folks like me that are a lot more broke, then that's a great way of looking forward to the new gear. You know, so
Did you see that new Taken ship?
Yeah, it's a bit bright at the front. It's cool as hell, but it's bright at the front, isn't it? I was like, oh my god, it's the sun at the end of in the end of the Dong piece. I'm blind. Imagine 3 of those in a fire team waiting to go in the Nightfall. It'd be like, oh my god, I've got to look away from my display just a little bit. Yeah,
I like how it was also the model from the Vault of Glass.
Yeah,
like the Vault of Glass ship, like that made a return.
Well,
it looked like a similar model. I don't know if it was exactly
50 ships in Destiny, but we'll keep recycling the same one over and over again. I think it must be someone's favorite, you know, like, no, don't use that one. Use the Vault of Glass one again, please. Thank you. But yeah,
add some armor to it, and we'll call it a new ship.
Yes, add a big, you know,
new shader, new ship.
Well, look, put a supernova at the front of that Taken thing, and here we go. That's done. New ship. Thank you. Next. But yeah, and they were teetering around the edge of looking at the other one as well. I think there was one that looked like a white version of the ship that drops in the Black Spindle mission, the Lost to Light Daily.
Yeah.
It looked like a little white version of one of those. That was interesting.
Mm-hmm. And that's an old model too, I believe.
Yes. I mean,
it just got a really cool like
paint job
for the Black Spindle.
Yeah, man. And then there was a Sparrow as well, which I'm not sure if Deidre was like, oh, we'll look at a Sparrow. There was just a purple legendary tile with no picture in it, and they were saying that was a Sparrow or something. So maybe that was the white Sparrow that Deidre was rolling around with in the Mars Patrol, perhaps.
Still can't compete with the Jade Rabbit Void Sparrow from.
Yeah, I got that one. I still haven't got the Arc Runner. That's the one that I want the most. And no, it's not.
No, you already have the best one. Why would you want another one?
I like the Arc Runner. That's for me. That is. It was built for me. You know. So
some quality of life stuff too. We got rep is going to be dramatically increased, so you'll earn more rep faster from Crucible, Vanguard, and House of Judgment.
About time. It was dropped way too low. I think they got a bit worried unnecessarily for Taken King. The faction rep was just so stingy.
Yeah. And without that Nightfall boost.
Yeah. And we're looking at folks that are just picking the game up now, and they're like, I've got to get to faction rank 25 before I can start the questing for my exotic faction item. That's a long slog, man, especially at the current level that the faction rep was coming in.
God, I never even thought of that. You know, I basically had the same factions on my characters for a year and a half. So it never occurred to me that starting off in the Taken King, you get oh man, that's brutal.
Well, I started a Smurf account, didn't I, to start that noobening series that I was doing for like utter beginners coming to the game in the Taken King, and I'm like, oh, faction rank 25, you know, like I haven't spent too long, about 35, 40 hours on each character, and they're all like at rank 2 on the faction rep, man. It's terrible. But yeah, like that's a good thing, and it's a good. I think it's a good thing that you can get boosters that boost the rep. If you want to buy it, then it's there. You don't want to buy it, you don't have to touch it. This is the same. Like I was going to say that a lot of these models have been alive and kicking in Warframe for quite some time. And I think there's a lot of influence taken from Warframe, and in this respect, it's there. The boosters are there, the syndicate rep and all that kind of stuff, as well as this new wave of cosmetic variation as well. So it's good to see it. I like to see it. I like to see the cosmetics happening. You're
gonna have more room to hold on to them too, because the vault got bigger.
Yeah, the vault got buffed.
Is that was that the biggest surprise of the live stream for you? Because it was for me.
No, number one surprise for me was no HUD mode, photo mode.
Oh yeah, I forgot about no HUD. That makes our life way easier.
Thumbnails galore. That's going to be a piece of piddle, as well as really cool machinimas and funny sketches and things like that. Like the intro that you did to our Three Guys in One Night 4 thing. That was great, man. You actually got creative and did a nice intro. Things like that are really going to shine now, and we're going to see amazing montages. I bet that the first thing that some of the top tier PvP players are going to do is climb straight into Crucible, disable their HUD, and get some awesome looking gameplay.
That would be cool. Yeah, that'll make for great montages.
We're
And
going to see
not
trials
having
runs.
that HUD too.
Yeah,
Oh my
trials runs by the Super Elite with no HUD. It's the same thing that happened with Battlefield. People were taking the HUD away using the command prompts and stuff. So
It's like a new user selectable hardcore.
yeah,
mode
like
for
super
PvP.
hardcore, man. We'll see this fashion trending very, very soon. But yeah, that was great. If we could just have like, because the only way that you're going to be able to take your screenshots is in the same way. You're going to have to sit down up against a wall or a piece of terrain, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So camera angles are going to be just as kind of tricky as they are, but at least you don't have to do that bringing up your menu kind of thing to get that HUD-free shot. It's going to open up a huge world of awesome screenshots and footage.
It's something that like YouTube creators and people have been asking for a long time, and it's a simple addition. And it's nice to see it. It's a nice time. Not everybody's going to use that one, but it's also not a whole lot of development time went into it.
Yeah, man. It does. I think it sells a game. It really does help sell a game from people who like making montages and cinematics and things like that. It
Got
just,
a motherfucking montage.
So it was a wise move. It was a very wise move by Bungelini there.
Yeah. I'm also excited now that we're getting a bigger vault. I'm going to have more stuff to put in it, including my old favorite Devil You Know hand cannon.
Yeah. I'm
The
going to be
LDR 5001.
Yep.
A bunch of old favorite guns are coming back, man. That's cool.
I got into sniping way after the day of the longbow synthesis, and I was gutted that I'd never got one or kept one or anything. Now's my chance to take a stroll down a memory lane and pick one of those up myself. The question is, where are we going to get those things? Are they going to be sold in vendors? Are they going to drop?
They're going to be legendary engrams, so you're going to have to just hope.
Right, you're just going to have to play through the content.
Yeah, it's going to, and if you want to get a good roll, that's going to be a grind.
Yeah.
That's just going to be, I got lucky and I got the LDR 5001 that I remember from way back in the day.
Yeah, man.
Like same roll and everything.
Well, that, again, an easy thing to put in and extremely appreciated all the same.
Oh, absolutely, because I've still got those guns in my
I don't know how
vault,
How did you keep them all? I had to I didn't
hard
want,
decisions.
Yeah. What did I keep from man, I think on Xbox I kept what was that? Crucible fusion rifle, man. The one that everyone used for the Vault of Glass.
I can't remember.
I can't remember the name of it, but I kept that sucker, and I had a Lord High Fixer, I think I kept on Xbox.
Oh yeah, that was a gem of a weapon.
Yeah, man. But on PlayStation, I've got nothing from year one. I don't think. I think maybe my Hunter faction class items are the only things that I managed to keep. Everything else got chewed up for marks or materials through weapons parts crises and stuff like that. So I'm glad to see some of those old ones coming back, in particular longbow synthesis.
What's nice too is that now you can get rid of that old version, right, that you've kept forever, and it solves the problem of bringing up some of those old favorites. Like, a lot of people want to bring up some of their old favorite guns, but Bungie has clearly found that is not always an optimal thing to do in this game.
Yeah, man. And plus the fact it gives you like a rejuvenation. Bringing back golden oldies is still a refresher. It's still like injecting a bit of new life back into the game. I know that sounds really cheap and lame and like some kind of Domestos Bleach ad, bringing back the old as new. You've seen this before. You've had it in your mouth. It's been on the floor, but we've put a new paint job on it and it's new again.
Nostalgia sells.
Yeah, it is nostalgia. And
I know that Holtzman, one of my Planet Destiny podcast guys, is definitely going to be looking for that zombie apocalypse because it was one of his favorites.
I had what was my first legendary? It was the machine gun. It was the new Monica one, the Prestige something or other.
Yeah.
It was horrible. It was like firing that gun was like being a toddler on top of a spin dryer. at its at the apex of its spin dryingness. It was terrible, and that was my first ever legendary on Xbox when I first picked up.
Mine was actually the Shadow Price, so I was actually
You were
excited
lucky.
to see that.
Yeah, that was lucky.
It was lucky.
Yeah, man.
And my first exotic was the Thunderlord that I got in the Crucible of all places.
Oh my god! I got the
Yeah.
Universal Remote. That was my first. I was like, the game's trolling me. I was like, I've never used a shotgun, and I don't plan on using a shotgun, and now I've got a yellow shotgun.
It looks like
Whoopity.
that gun's coming back from that little tiny trailer they played at the beginning of the stream. It looked like I thought I saw that thing in there.
Yeah, man, and the Queen's Breaker bow is there.
Mm-hmm.
It was there, man. They needed to bring those 3 fallen exotics back because they had such a short snifter of a lifespan. You know,
I played with that on live stream like a few days ago, and people had no idea what it was. The Queensbreaker bow, like it was completely foreign to them.
that was probably one of the most fun PvP weapons that I'd used in a long time. When I made a video showcasing that in PvP, I had a really fun time. It wasn't exactly the best PvP weapon, but it still was pretty good. And in the right hands, it looked super impressive.
Yeah.
And it
had a ton of ammo.
Yeah, man, and it was at 2 different scopes as well, so that you could adapt it to your playstyle. And it was in the game for this tiny sniff of a time period, so it's good to see those things come back and actually have more relevance again. Will they be bringing all 3 back? Will we have any extra ones? I don't know, but like, just to see Lord of Wars and the Queen's Breaker bow, back in action again is pretty good. Dreg's Promise was probably, I kind of liked it. I went ham with
I loved
that
it.
thing.
It's one of my favorite year 1 guns.
Yeah, I went
It was
ham
a
with
horrible
that thing.
gun, but it was completely unique.
Yeah, I just, if you had your triple jump on and you jumped and you got in people's faces and just went, blah, 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 they were dead. They couldn't do anything about it because of the amount of ammunition in their faces. So
If they bring that back and they change it to a hit scan gun, so you don't have to worry about that bullet travel time, which was a real problem for it, that could be a good gun.
Yeah, man. But yeah, there's we got some content coming on the way. I still have many questions about the Challenge of Elders and how that's going to work. And obviously next week, I am super looking forward to the stream for next week.
Yeah. Next week is going to be the PvE or the PvP side.
Yeah.
And they haven't done a PvP stream since they announced Trials.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's an indication of what we can expect, but it sure would be nice to get something of a trial scale.
Yeah.
That would be pretty hot.
Well, I think a rework of it would be nice to hear more information on reworking the whole matchmaking system. It would be nice to hear about the connection-based, versus skill-based kind of thing. It'd be nice to hear about those things, and it would also be really nice to hear, more like permanent integration of freelance playlists. I thought that was a great thing. It's like, where are they, man? Like, I've only been back at the helm playing Destiny for the past 2 weeks, but I haven't seen any of these freelance playlists. I didn't even get to try them out or anything, man. So they're not on a very aggressive rotation. And
Those
doubles
should be there all the time.
Yeah, doubles. I didn't realize that there was Grimoire has been introduced for doubles. You got to win 100 matches to get all the Grimoire, and there's no doubles in the playlists.
Yeah.
So not only that, I think a lot of people are desperate for ranked and unranked playlists to try and thin out this, incessant forced matchmaking system that seems to be, causing a lot of pain and suffering for our PvP player base.
God, the lag at Iron Banner this week is so rotten.
I'm seeing it. It is actually putting me off. I don't know whether I'm going to bother, especially with all the new information available to us that current gear and spending resources on current gear is kind of going to be completely obsolete when this update hits.
Yeah, I wouldn't go about spending a whole lot of legendary marks on this Iron Banner gear.
No, and your resources, keep your weapon parts, keep your armor materials, keep your motes of light, keep
your
all
legendary
of that.
marks and save those bounties that have legendary marks in them.
Yeah, man. Save the whole lot. So if you get the 25 legendary marks for cashing in certain Iron Banner bounties, rather than rank up in Iron Banner, keep hold of them and cash them in.
Trials of Osiris gives those out as well.
Yeah, man. Stockpile that stuff. There's a video right there. Stockpiling that stuff.
I've got that one on the slate.
It's on the slate.
Yeah, it's ready to go.
We're getting a snifter now. We're getting a snifter of it. A preview.
Yeah, a little preview. It's something I've been thinking about, since we started hearing about it. Right? Is how are we going to get ready? Should we get ready?
Yeah.
Do we want to like just jump in and have like a million legendary marks? So we just buy everything all at once?
Yeah.
Or would you rather drip feed that stuff and make the content last a little longer?
Well, I think we all know everybody. They're going to sit there until it's all gobbled up.
Yeah.
It's going to be gobbled up with as fast as possible,
Yeah. I do want to talk about weapons real quick. They changed hard mode. King's Fall hard mode will drop 335 gear.
Good.
Previously, they'd said 330. They changed that to 335, but there's going to be a hot fix to fix it after the April update comes out. So
that's good news.
At first, it'll drop at 330, but it will be dropping 335.
Yeah, why would we be playing hard mode, King's Fall challenge modes and stuff if it didn't drop the top of the line, gubbins?
Yeah,
So
I think this is smart.
Yeah,
that stuff's all going to be infusion material, but it's nice that at least the raid is going to be.
Well, it could be. I mean, we say this, but how about if weapon balance was a thing that's discussed next week? Like maybe perhaps pulse rifles are going to be brought back in line to how they were before they were kind of hit a little too hard, the same as legendary hand cannons maybe.
Mm-hmm.
If those things are tweaked, then those King's Fall raid weapons may have relevance again. Because Smite of Mirain, that was a wonderful weapon before that. The nerf went a bit overboard with pulse rifles, and now it's just it doesn't have the attributes that it once had before the nerf, man. So perhaps they could come back and have some relevance again if weapon balance was part of the this sandbox moving and shifting around.
That I swear to God, they showed the hand cannon being used in last week's stream, and I swear to God that reload speed looked faster.
Yeah.
So, that was a cool hand cannon, except for the reload speed. So
yeah, man. And the fact that it could do, reload speed, maybe just a small rate of fire, just a little bit, a couple of millimeters, just shift it upwards just a little bit. But yeah, we got taken shotguns in the mix there. I saw that fallen scout rifle that they were messing about with the fallen graffiti on it when he applied the chroma. That looked pretty nice.
Great.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That'll do.
The Taken Sword.
Yes.
That thing is going to be a void damage weapon. The lunge on that thing was insane. I can see people going ham in the Crucible with that.
I can see people going mad. I can hear the controllers being bitten in half,
Yeah.
Like cross-map sworded, cross-map lunged by the
You come around the
sword.
corner, blocking, and then once you see somebody, you just, swipe at them 3 times and they're gone, you know?
They're claved in twain. They'll be claved in twain by the Taken Sword. Yeah, man. But yeah,
got a new Taken Ghost available through the Challenge of Elders. We talked about the Sparrows. There's going to be a lot of ways to get 335 gear now. You can get it from, like we said, King's Fall, Raid, Iron Banner, Trials, Strike Uniques are going to drop. They could drop at 335. Exotic Engrams could drop with 335 gear in it.
This is the way that it should be. There's multiple angle to level up your gear. If you want to live in PvP, then be our guest. If you want to do it only in PvE, then you're covered. That's the way that it really should be. It should cater
I
for
agree
both.
with you wholeheartedly. It's great.
Good news all round. Then
I think so, man. I'm excited. I actually think I'm more excited after this stream than I was after last week's.
Yes, I think we're headed in a better direction. Definitely. Next week is the icing on top of the cake, and that is, for me, that is where it's really going to come together. What we're going to hear next week. I'm happy so far. That stuff that we've got has definitely got a thumbs up. Absolutely. Next week is the real butt clincher for me.
Well, I think we'll be back to talk about next week's stream right after the stream as well, right?
Yes, we will indeed.
And that should be an interesting one. That might take longer than a half an hour.
I think Pone said that he'll be joining us for that one as well, so there could be
really?
3 of us.
That's great news. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, man. So, So I think we've covered it. We've done it. We've got it in the bag. Everyone's informed. They're lightly entertained, and our job is done.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us.
And we'll
see you next time.
See you next time. Yes.